Welcome everyone to our episode 5 of Ask Us Relationship Series 2. And here we are. It's an interesting topic today. But before we start, I would just like to tell you that we provide guidance on navigating relationship challenges, drawing from our expertise and personal experiences as life coaches. Should you find yourself in need of professional mental health assistance, we strongly recommend seeking therapy or counseling support. If our insights resonates with you and you're interested in individual or group coaching, do feel free to contact us via Instagram or join our Facebook community called Loving Relationships. We will add the link in the description. So let's get started.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. So we have a very interesting question today, and I'm going to ask Natasha first, and we'll go from there. So the question is, with both of us juggling demanding schedules, it's becoming increasingly challenging to find quality time for each other and maintain intimacy. How do we prevent our relationship from taking a backseat to our other commitments? What do you think of this, Natasha?
When we've been in a relationship for a long time, we are in a habit now, right? Our relationship has become a habit. Everything we do, it's just on autopilot. It needs conscious choice. It needs making conscious decision and bringing that relationship at the forefront, making it a priority. It's not going to just happen. We are not going to be able to read each other's mind. And to be honest, we do expect our partners to read our minds, but that's not going to happen. It will take communication. It will take that conscious conversation with each other, letting each other know that I am feeling this way and we need to talk. That's where it starts. That's where you put your relationship as a priority. And it will unfold from there. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree completely. I think in today's fast-paced world, many couples find themselves struggling to balance the demands of their busy lives, family, and then the desires to maintain a fulfilling connections, which is normal. The challenge of carving out quality time for each other amidst the hectic schedules is a common dilemma. I think it's everywhere now. We go through it, and sometimes when we are in it, sometimes we feel like we're the only one who's experiencing it. But first, to understand that this is normal and everybody face them. So I think to prevent your relationship or your relationship from taking a backseat to other commitments, which is what the question was, right? I think it's really important to prioritize, like what you said, intentional moments of connection and intimacy. This might involve reevaluating your schedule to create dedicated time for other things that you like to do, to create dedicated moments of connection together, even if it means making small adjustments or sacrifices in other areas of your life. I also want to add that it's crucial to cultivate a mindset of presence and attentiveness when you are together. So quality time isn't just about the quantity of moments spent together, but it's also the depth of engagement and connection during those moments. So if you're watching TV, or I mean, if you wanted to spend time together and then you're on your phone, that's not quality time, right? So this might mean putting away distractions such as your phone. Don't talk about your work-related thoughts or journeys. You assign a time for that where you can be both supportive for each other. It truly being present with each other is really, really important. And I want to highlight what you said, like communication is also one of the biggest key in navigating these kinds of challenges, because it's important to openly discuss your priorities and desires as a couple and collaborate. Find ways to align your schedules and commitment in a way that honor your relationship. This might involve setting boundaries around work or other obligations, and then advocating for the importance of your relationship if that is what you are prioritizing, the relationships and your well-being. And lastly, I think, you have to remember emotional connection and vulnerability. You really have to find a way to nurture emotional intimacy, such as sharing your thoughts and your feelings and where you are in your journey within your relationship, and share the dreams and your goals that you might have, that because we are growing, you are shifting constantly, and as we grow, our priorities changes, and sometimes we need to communicate those with our partner because we need to update each other, right? Because some of the interests that we might have a year ago might not be your priority now. So having an open communication is, I think, one of the key to strengthen the bond, even when time together is very limited. That's my.
I love that. I love that. And I love the especially the last part that you said, being open and sharing, and for the other person to be open to listening. Right? Both ways. It has to be both ways. It's not just one person going sharing, and the other person's on their phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these boundaries, as you said, are so crucial that even if we're spending 10 minutes, it's not about, all day. It's not about going on holidays or anything. Even if it means 10 minutes, just you and me, right? And then we have these little boundaries, which means that let's be open and listen. Let's put the phone away. Let's listen to each other. If I'm saying something, listen to it. Even if I'm getting mad, maybe for that time, listen. And then, when you are talking, I will listen as well. So it's
Absolutely.
making those little agreements with each other. So we both know, and not just depending on mind reading, right?
I absolutely agree. Mind reading and assumption kills everything in a relationship, and the viability of the relationship deteriorate, because if we assume, it might not be facts, right? It could be just feelings. So we need to make sure that we are coming from a place of transparency and communication. Yeah.
I love that. But now let's take a step deeper here, right? But the audience who are thinking, Diana, you know what? Sometimes it's just me making that effort, and my husband's not interested. Or the husband saying, you know what? I make that effort. I go to my wife, but she is not interested in me, or she's just overly tired and she's not willing to listen. What should those couples do in moments like this?
Oh gosh, this is, again, I want to highlight that this is one of the most common struggles in relationships, because our growth are very different. Although we are in a relationship, we have to see our journey together separately, and then you come together as a partnership. I like looking at relationship in metaphors. In this case, it's like a dance. They're like this intricate dance, right? And commitment, it's like the rhythm that keeps us moving together. But what happens when one partner isn't really truly invested? It's like dancing with someone who keeps stepping on your toes. It throws off the whole flow of the rhythm. So when there is a mismatch in commitment, I think it's really crucial to dig deep and understand why. Maybe there's a lack of communication or unresolved issues lurking beneath the surface. So it's about shining a light on those shadows and bringing them in in the open. Because communication is I can't highlight this enough. Communication is the heartbeat of any relationship. It's about creating this safe space when both partners can share their truth without fear or judgment. Sometimes bringing in a third party like a counselor, a coach, or a therapist can provide that neutral ground or deeper exploration. But commitment, it's not this static thing, right? It's fluid. It evolves over time. Your style of way of communicating will be different. Your fight style will be different. So it's vital for couples to check in regularly and recalibrate their shared vision, like what I said earlier, right? Because we grow, life throws curveball all the time, and our commitment needs to be flexible enough to adapt. And I think at the end of the day, a relationship is a partnership. If one person isn't fully on board, it really disrupts that delicate balance. And it's about honoring yourself and your needs while also extending grace to your partner. And start to get curious as to why your partner isn't that motivated or isn't that, or the commitment isn't that 100%. And if despite your best efforts, the commitment gap still remains, it might be time to reevaluate if this relationship is still aligned with your growth and happiness. It's about really finding that harmony and ensuring that you're both thriving on this journey together. So you have to make sure that you advocate for your heart, for your soul, so that you can create this ripple effect within the relationship. So that's my take. So what's your take on this?
Yeah, I love that. And you know the part where you said get a third party involved. Be mindful who you get involved, who you bring in your relationship, right? As you rightly said, a counselor or a therapist, get a professional. That's the best way to handle it. If we start bringing our family members, we start bringing our friends into the picture, it can get a bit messy, and it can sabotage your relationship as well. It can maybe take a different turn to what you want. But a professional as a coach, right, might help you to make your choice, to move in the direction that you want to move together and not what other people want it to be.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. And one more thing I would like to add is also check in with your partner. If you have spoken and things are not going the way it has to go, check in and see that there might be a priority that is, maybe your partner is facing a challenge. And maybe that at that moment, that's louder, and your partner is probably feeling unworthy or a lack in that area. So they're not able to focus anywhere else, but all their attention is going towards one thing. So instead of feeling that, oh, I'm not a priority then, no, maybe try to have a conversation and see, how can I support you right now in this matter? And once they start to feel empowered in that direction, they will have more time, more energy, more effort to put into the relationship and make this a priority. Yes, not forgetting that we are a couple and this is also important, but let's support each other, right? Empower each other. And that's when we can move together.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. It's the journey together isn't always an easy path, but when you are committed to nurturing your relationship first, then the commitment will be clear and the boundaries will be clear and the open communication. And I love, it does remind me of what you mentioned earlier when we were talking about this, is the soul journey, right? We want to expand around more about the soul journey. I love that coming from you.
It's very important in a relationship, because in a relationship we can get very much tangled with each other, right? And looking at individual growth, it's the growth of the soul, right? The soul is growing. What has the soul acquired in its journey? Sometimes one soul could be working hard on their growth and they have grown and grown and grown. And you'd realize that, oh, the other person is not growing. What's wrong with this person, right? Why is this person doing X, Y, Z? But you know what? I've learned better, and I know there's a better way. In that process, what could happen is we could probably try to drag that person with us. It's not happening because they haven't grown yet. So everyone has their individual soul journey. And that's our responsibility, to focus on our growth, our journey. And all we can do is support the other soul in our life with their growth. And that means acknowledging where they are, not where we want them to be. Right?
Oh, yeah, it is. And it's really also important to see that your journey, again, your journey is different from your partner, and your partner is different from yours. And to acknowledge and honor that where you're at might not be at the same place as your partner, and to support your partner along the way and extend the empathy and compassion towards the relationship, the well-being of your relationship and your partner, so that there is a safe space where you can be both vulnerable and express where you're at, and then start getting curious about where your partner is at, and then maybe perhaps find what's a healthy middle, and then move forward from there. And sometimes when we are sort of people are saying like I'm awakened or more evolved,
Yeah.
it's a very dangerous place to be sometimes, because we forget that sometimes those are the ego speaking, and we become more judgmental towards our partner. And I encourage you to use your knowledge, if you consider yourself as evolved, to use that as a humbling place, because now you have so much more knowledge, now you have more awareness, and to extend that love and compassion towards those who might need some guidance, including your partner, your kids, your friends, to be the light that could shine some of those areas that they might need a little bit of a helping hand. So it's a soul journey. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah,
We're
and I
all
love the
here.
last part
Yeah.
that you said about being humble, because it's almost like looking down on someone, right? But acknowledge that, yeah, be grateful that I have gained so much. Now let me step to the level that they are to to see what help and support they need, right? And shining that light, and be humble rather than looking down and saying, hello, I'm here. Come on, what's happening? Why aren't you doing this XYZ?
Yeah. And then we get into this codependency dynamic, which is not really good, because we try to we go into this fixing mode, and we go into this extenuous helping, trying to make the other person become someone else when they're not really ready for that. And then the resentment builds. And then the anger builds. And I love when you say, you have to step back and really see each other's journey and support each other. And if your partner still remains to be uninterested in working towards the well-being of your relationship, or being supported towards you, it's really, really important to reassess and get some help, because especially when there's kids involved, and I don't know if this person has kids, but if there are kids involved, it's not just about you anymore. It's a whole unit now, where how are you going to communicate with each other so that you remain respectful? The love is there. You have gone through so much history together, and that this misunderstanding or this challenge in your relationship shouldn't be the reason why everything has to be out and thrown out the window, right? So consider the work that you've done together, consider the history that you have together, and consider the love that you had together from the beginning of your relationship, and look at this challenge as something that might be just your growth edge. And if the other person remains, okay, I'm not interested anymore, then there is a hard communication that needs to happen, and see where you want to go. It could be separate, right? It could be talking about separation. It could be talking about divorce over time, but you have to turn each stone before you get to that space. And so that when you arrive to the finality of your decisions, there's no regret, and that there's no blaming, because you have taken responsibility for your part in the relationship, and that your partner now is becoming aware of your partner's part in the relationship, so that you can move forward with more healthier way of looking at life, rather than bickering and blaming each other. It's not going to be good for the world around you and the world within you, right?
Oh, I so agree with you. People do see separation and divorce as something that's yucky, right? But no, as you said, if you have taken the responsibility and you have given your best, you've given your best, right? And if the other person is adamant and doesn't wish to contribute towards the relationship, then you have to accept that as well, right? You have to be willing and open to listening to what this person is saying. And if this person is saying, no, right, this is not important to me, I don't want this is not for me, we can't force them that either. Right? That's when the hard conversation needs to happen.
Yeah. Oh man, we can talk about this for hours, because this is like the most common relationship challenges. But for now, we will bid you farewell, and we will see you again next week. But again, if you have any questions or any challenges, Natasha and I are here to support you in any way that we can. And reach out, and our information will be on the bio, or on the link that will be attached to this video.
Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Diana.
Thank you, Natasha. Bye.
Bye.